Thank you very much. We split it into two, and I've done it to start, and then you will follow up. This is all about networking. You told me, you almost pushed me into another person when I came. This is networking, you have to network. She pushed me over. And that is what I'm going to talk about. How to help people like Erkki have a success. How to find a network who could help him. Not functioning. Water projects in Baltic Sea, what are they and how can our SMEs participate? This is not functioning. Sorry. Well, or again. Well, today this is the definition of the Baltic Sea. We include Norway as well, since I come from Norway.
But not Kaliningrad.
We believe that companies participating in networks are more innovative, grow faster, and have better profitability than single companies. This is where I come from. Here you have Oslo. I live somewhere down here. And that is part of Norway. Let that now, just for a moment, be a background picture. And on top of that picture, we will paint a value chain. And in the middle of that value chain, you will find the main suppliers. This is our members. And then you have the knowledge suppliers. And in front of that, you have the sub-suppliers. A large amount of them, from the electronics to the piping to the filterings. And in the end of the value chain, you will find the demanding customers. And what we are searching for is to find good collaboration between some of these companies, not all of them, find those who fit together in a good way. They spread out geographically like a cluster should do. It has a good concentration, and it also has some very eager companies on the western part of Norway and in the middle part of Norway. And very important to our cluster is that we have 7 registered scientific partners. That means that they are pre-qualified for applying for Norwegian official grants within science. And that helps us a lot. And by the way, when we're talking about cluster theory, the most successful cluster in the world is Silicon Valley. That is the size of Silicon Valley. So what do? Some of them can collaborate, and we are searching for finding smart collaboration. This is a very small company, 4 employees. This is a system supplier, and these are consultancies. And this is Hamburg Wasser in Oslo, the water company in Oslo. And we can find value chains where we find the innovation where it really is. Sometimes you will find it here. And very often the customer hasn't the slightest idea what they want to solve, but perhaps the answer is all the way down there. Together we represent 60 companies, 3,000 employees. Together we are quite big. So these small companies with 10 employees, they could be represented outside in a very good manner. So I will give you one very small example. I was in Dubai talking to one of these guys in his white clothing, and I asked, what did you see here? Well, at least I didn't see any companies because I haven't heard of any of them. But what I did see, he had his education from MIT actually, I saw your sub-suppliers, your main suppliers, I saw the knowledge suppliers, and I've heard about clusters, and I believe in clusters. So I believe that you can deliver something. And as a Norwegian company, well, we don't know whether you're good at water treatment, but we know Norway, you're good at innovation. You have solved your oil industry problems without knowing how to solve them in front. And our new front-coming water treatment solutions, we don't even know what they are. We don't know how to express our problems, but we know that you're skilled in solving problems as such. So when we see these cluster, they're in a cluster unit whose size, in a reasonable size, we know that you have skills in front of that in Norway that you could adapt to your water treatment. When you're going to search for innovation, You most probably won't search only within the water treatment business. You will search in your neighborhood, and our neighborhood is offshore. It might be nanotechnology, it might be anything you have locally where the ideas are. And so we adapt them to our environment, and of course we see the chance of adapting it also to new businesses, for example, the aquaculture. And all who has been to Norway know that aquaculture, of course, is also on the other side. So we could find new solutions for aquaculture by analyzing and understanding our business and adapting it. And how do we do this? Well, I'm a leader of a cluster. I don't do very much of the work. We have a team for recruitment, we have a team for reputation, we have a team for innovation, and all these teams, team for global relations, they are owned by the members themselves. They are led by representatives from the industry, or from the members, and they ask me what they want, and I do try to find in collaboration. I try to find matchmaking, and that's how we work, and that's how we find good solutions for SMEs. They often know who is your cluster if you're abroad. Where do you belong? When our companies represent themselves outside, they take with them the logo and they say we represent 60 companies. We have a lot of opportunities. I represent a small company with very few resources, but I have a hub of resources that I could take with me if you have a larger problem that you want me to solve together with you. So we have to have a strong home base and need long arms out in the world. So what we say is welcome to more than just a delivery. Welcome to collaboration. And the question, I think we just tick it. And one more thing. To have success, we need competent partners, and we believe that all those Baltic SMEs are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bård.
I suppose I'll just continue.
You just keep on, yes, keep up the pace, please.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Katri Mehtonen. I'm the Managing Director for the Finnish Water Forum. And thank you for Novago for all the arrangements and for the amazing head of this seminar. And also my colleague Bård. It's very good to hear about experiences in our neighboring countries and this Nordic. And not today, we're not talking about Nordic cooperation. I think we are talking about Baltic cooperation, not only even that, but about European cooperation, wider spectrum. It's wonderful that we can share experiences here. So I'll just tell you very briefly within my time frame a little bit about the Finnish Water Forum. But what I would really like to do while I do that and kind of update you, some of you probably know about us already quite much, but what we are doing nowadays, but also I'd like to bring to the table the discussion and the idea that we should really strengthen the links between our different national cooperation organizations, clusters, networks, and thank you, Bård, for ending your presentation on exactly that topic, because that's what I really do think. We all have limited resources, particularly in the Nordic countries. I think we have lots of SMEs, and we have lots of companies that would need a little bit more support, that would have amazing opportunities abroad within Europe, but also outside Europe, and we should combine our forces a little bit more. But back to my topic, the Finnish Water Forum. We are an association that's been there around for about 4 years, and it is really a cooperation network. We have very small staff, only a couple of people working for us, but we have already quite a wide member organization network to be compared to the amount of companies and organizations within Finland that work with water. 100 member organizations is already quite a lot. And what is remarkable is that we have both the public and the private sector involved. 75% of our members are companies, 90% of those companies are SMEs, so that is really our most important kind of client group or that we're trying to help. But it's really important also to have 5 ministries on board and to have research institutions and other organizations. which also means that we work not only with topics about export opportunities and international cooperation for our companies, which is one of the main issues, but also with issues like development cooperation and how to support development cooperation aims in the field of water. So, of course, we would have lots of different know-how in all aspects of water. I'm not having a list of companies here as my colleague Bård did. Maybe I should, but it was actually very nice to see that you already had one Finnish company there, at least mentioned Kemira, and that's how it works. What we've realized during the 4 years we've been working here and trying to kind of couple the Finnish companies together in order to form Finnish clusters to go abroad. Actually, that's not probably not the most effective way of doing it. We should look more widely and go together with Nordic, with Norwegian companies, to go together with our European companies and do much more of that. But anyways, what we do is we do lots of linking, similar activities that you do in Norway, and then we also deliver our members' use and do a little bit national lobbying, which you sometimes need in order to support the companies having their opportunity for work here and different activities. I would like to mention one of the stronghold areas here, because this has been a lot in discussion for many years here in Finland already, and I know that also in other European our partner countries, about smart water or about using different ICT tools, as we just heard about the Liquim experience, that you can develop amazing tools to help modern water management solutions. And this is one area that we are working at the moment. We're just about to bring in a couple of actually funding applications to support our companies to work more closely on this issue. And this has been an issue on the agenda of TEKES, which is our one of the institutions supporting innovations in Finland. And also we've done some studies about what is the Finnish water know-how here, how does that compare to the know-how within other European countries, and maybe the next step again with the smart water field should be that how do we combine all the knowledge and go together to different markets with that know-how. Well, we do basically bring together our members because of the small staff and then the large membership. The main function is really to coordinate and cooperate. But not only our member organizations, we actually do have a very large network of cooperation partners, like Novago, like the different development companies work in different areas in Finland, like LADEC in Lahti area, and also with different sector institutions within Finland, like clean tech organizations, which there are a couple of them. So this enables lots of more actions that we could do with only our own, a little bit limited resources. But the main idea is that our members do jointly decide on what should be due and what should be undertaken for their benefit, for their shared benefits, and we are trying to support them. So there's lots of information sharing. We do have, of course, a newsletter, but within our working groups, which you see listed there, many of them actually combine lots of people, lots of companies, institutions that basically come together to hear the latest news about a certain area. Like for example, the best example would be our Russian water supply and wastewater treatment working group that has been there for a couple of tens of years actually, and bringing together companies, institutions, hearing about what is going on there. It's very interesting, of course, at the moment how the Russian market will develop or the cooperation there. But it's very valuable often to hear what is going on, what kind of investments are going to be there, and how actually different organizations could go together and try to utilize those opportunities. We do undertake some market studies. We are currently looking at, for example, we've been looking at Central Europe for a while, Kazakhstan in particular, about industrial sector there, and our companies are considering how they could learn more about that market. And for example, that would be one issue, that if we'd find our European or Nordic partner organizations or companies being interested about something similar, we could maybe do such market studies or any of these actions jointly in the future, I would think. Tenders some of our member companies have found each other through the working group or event discussions and done successful tenders, for example, for St. Petersburg wastewater treatment, which is one of the best examples for not only Finnish, but of course also Finnish cooperation there. And lots of different other even activities going on in there. also sometimes and often, and even more than before, we are being asked, or we would provide through our working groups also like written statements or opinions, for example, in the field of development cooperation. Here in Finland, maybe within the European network, again, it would make sense to form joint views on how Europe or just different nations should work on the field of water, and in the development countries, how there could be like win-win solutions to support those countries, but also in the same time provide some opportunities for our SMEs to get some more international experience. So basically this is the core of it, and then just to finish here, I have like some examples of some selected joint actions that we've done or we are doing. For example, this inside information I was talking about in our working groups, in our events, our organizations can share some information and often do get some information that they wouldn't otherwise get. Market information, obviously, smart water benchmarking study I already mentioned, and the next step it will be developing actually not only information on the smart water solutions, but we are actually at the moment trying to establish a couple of piloting and demonstration kind of platforms here within Finland, so that our SMEs working with these kind of solutions will actually have better opportunities to pilot, have references, go abroad, again based on that. So we are working with one of our water and wastewater supply companies here, for example, with Finland very closely at the moment, in order to establish such a pilot platform that hasn't been there before. So that's something new. We've been looking at selected countries, kind of new countries for our companies. Myanmar, development cooperation starting there gradually, whether there would be opportunities for our companies and institutions. We are doing some training and for different countries that we can provide. Of course, education training is kind of the stronghold in Finland in general, but also there's been lots of this like China, Finland's discussion lately, and again I think our Danish colleagues should be here because they are in the European Chinese water kind of technology platform there. There's like great and wide cooperation in the European extent in China for water, and we should be looking that together again. But also like lots of other events going on. Vietnam is one of the countries where Finland has been for a long time supporting Vietnamese water sector, and we are on the kind of limit of going from development cooperation to more commercial cooperation, and we are trying to work there together. Again, I would invite anybody interested about Vietnam to kind of join in our actions there. And Stockholm Water Week, and our Swedish colleagues will be having that very important event next week, bringing everybody together. And yes, I will finish here so you get a little bit of the picture. I would welcome all the Finnish companies or institutions that are not yet involved to join our cooperation, but also our Nordic, Baltic or European colleagues, and we should work more and more effectively and more closely in the future in the field of water. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katri.